Well, the now former UFC champion Sean Strickland, who lost the title in a somewhat debatable, controversial finish. A lot of people say it could have gone either way. But that's not the only thing controversial about Sean Strickland lately, now is it? Sean Strickland, who is a famous shit talker, trash talker, aficionado, but he's been doing it for a number of years. But now that he has come to prominence in the UFC, as in the world title picture and such, suddenly his voice has gotten a lot louder and has reached across to the people, the social justice warriors out in the media, trying to push their agenda, trying to catch the bad guys and getting that soundbite that they can spread around and say, look how evil this person is, let's cancel him. And that was going on at the UFC press conference that they did up in Canada, where they were supposed to be talking about the UFC and the fight game, when this Canadian pro-LGBT journalist tried to throw out a gotcha question at Sean Strickland, and it did not work out too well for him. Check out this clip.
We've got a pretty supportive gay and lesbian community in this city. I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said, if I had a gay son, I would think I've...
Oh, look, another. I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion, you become a star, and someone says...
Let me ask you something. Are you gay?
Have you had the chance to interact with a more diverse
Let me know.
Are
you gay?
Could I get an answer?
Well, no, I'm asking. This is a part of. Are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak fucking man, dude. You're part of the fucking problem. You elected Justin Trudeau. Like, when he sees the bank accounts, like, you're just fucking pathetic. And the fact that you have no fucking backbone, and has he shut down your fucking country and seized bank accounts? You ask me some stupid shit like that, go fuck yourself. Move the fuck on, man.
I feel like that doesn't really answer the question, but I did want to ask also things you said about the trans community. You said this past October when they announced the Bud Light sponsorship that you'd go so hard on Bud Light in your next fight, they'll have to accept me or denounce me when they know what, and will know what they stand for.
This guy's like, hey, this Canadian's not that Canadian.
Are you still going to use your fight time to kind of speak on that?
Here's the thing about Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental fucking illness. And now all of a sudden, people like you have fucking weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of fucking you. And the best thing is the world's not buying it. The world's not buying your fucking bullshit you're fucking peddling. The world is not saying, you know what? You're right. Fucking chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are two genders. I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could fuck in school. I don't want my kids being taught about, their sexual preference. Like, dude, this guy is the fucking enemy. You want to look at the fucking enemy to our world? It's that motherfucker right there, asking these stupid fucking questions. Sorry, I told the UFC I was being nicer. Lance, am I still good with this? Different F-word. Yeah. I'm trying to be good, man. I'm trying to be good. I like the fucking gays. Here's the thing. I've never, you guys think I've ever shit on a gay man or shit on a gay woman? I like the gays. It's fucking freedom. We still have it in America. We'll teach you about it. You guys don't have fucking freedom of speech. I'm surprised what I'm saying is probably going to get I'm probably going to get the fucking Canadian government to arrest me. So I don't give a fuck who you fuck. I don't give a fuck what you want to do in life. But don't fucking tell kids about it. Don't teach that shit in fucking school. Don't fucking push your agenda. Don't try to fucking brainwash people. Don't try to go past parents. Don't try to go up past all this shit and brainwash people, you fucking cuck.
Now, you may be wondering why I'm even talking about this, because this is a pro wrestling channel, not a UFC channel, and I don't intend to start covering UFC topics. But this one is tangentially connected, as all of this has stirred up the social justice warriors in the media to start calling for the cancellation of Sean Strickland and the UFC. And to do this, they are trying to appeal to the parent company. The company that is out trying to sell and trade stocks on the open market for the UFC, TKO. And who is the chairman of the board of TKO? Well, none other than Vince McMahon. God damn it. And, of course, the other company under TKO's umbrella is the WWE. So it is all tied together vaguely. But for more proof of that, let's go ahead and jump on over to this clip from the Dan LeBatard Show, where these guys are outraged. They're so mad at the things that Sean Strickland are saying that they are calling for TKO to do something about this, amongst other things. Check out this clip.
Sean Strickland is the middleweight champion in the UFC, Stugatz. And this sport, and I've said this before, this sport is the gutter. It is a very bad, ugly business, and it is now being run by a person in Dana White who allows all of this to go on and takes the lane of profiting, of allowing his champion to speak this way in a press conference where he's wearing a shirt. I believe the shirt says women in the kitchen and guns in every hand, I believe is the shirt that he is wearing. And then listen to how he responds. This is a champion, Stugatz. This is a face of your sport. The sport does not have that many stars at the moment, and this guy is one of your champions. And I simply cannot imagine in football, in baseball, in basketball. I mean, hockey has an undercurrent of some of this, but it's not like this. I cannot imagine a modern athlete champion in a sport that people are covering like it's a real sport, talking like this without a reaction from the public and a backlash.
This is really like also the only way we approach mixed martial arts, and it's not that interesting of a topic to me. It's like, how does Dana White allow this? We know where Dana White's politics reside. He's spoken articulately, honestly, on why he allows this stuff. The fact that we played that clip, which I agree, Chris, that's as hateful a clip as I've heard on this show. And I was aware of it, and I saw quotes of it. I wasn't prepared for how I would feel after seeing 2 minutes of it. Fuck that guy. Yeah. Fuck him. He's a stupid motherfucker who is hateful. And the fact that he's not suspended, where he'd be suspended in any other sport, hell, forget sport. In most companies, that shit would at the very least get you suspended, is an indictment on that company. It's publicly traded, by the way. So Endeavor and TKO, you should answer for this in ways that he hasn't had to.
I don't tell anybody to do anything. I don't try to control any other human beings in any way, shape, or form. They do it this. I say it all the time. We're in the fight business, and if you get your feelings hurt that bad, you probably shouldn't ask the type of questions when you know the answer you're going to get from Strickland. Let's start there. You know what I mean? If you ask him, you know who he is, and if you ask him a certain question, he was baited in that question.
I'm not, sorry, my mistake. Not referring to that question. Just, Strickland got a little...
I know what you're saying.
Okay.
I know what you asked me. It is what it is. It's the fight business, man.
Now, look, I'm going to play this a little careful because I'm not in the business of picking sides or being a political pundit or, dividing my audience by any stretch here. So I'm going to play it a little safe, but there are some things to consider on both sides here, right? Like, for example, Sean Strickland's an asshole, right? Everything that he says, he just comes off as like another meathead douchebag. He's not saying anything particularly profound. He doesn't say it very eloquently. He's just a big mouth fighter who's allowed to go out and say what he wants to say. And he's stirring a lot of people up because of it, so he doubles down on it and he goes out and he says it more. On the other side, I do not believe in the cancellation of Sean Strickland, the UFC, or anybody else, ESPN. People are trying to get ESPN canceled or to denounce the UFC. All of that shit needs to stop. And thankfully, it seems like we're starting to fight back against that a little bit. I am a pro-freedom guy. As a podcast journalist, you need to be able to say what you want to say. And that doesn't mean that protected speech isn't protected. It wouldn't need to be protected if we liked everything that people say, right? It's protected speech because sometimes people say shit that you disagree with, or that's just downright stupid or ignorant. So regardless of what you feel or think or what you want to say or personally how you feel about what Sean Strickland said, the fact remains he should have the right to say that. And then he can expose himself to the public and people can see what kind of person he is, what he stands for. And then you can decide if he's somebody that you want to support, which a lot of people do. Or you can be somebody that you stand against, which a lot of people are doing as well. I think this whole let's cancel them, let's call the parent company, let's get the shareholders involved, let's call the TV station at that. Shut the fuck up. Why are we doing all this? Let the man say his stupid shit, and then you can go, well, I think he's an idiot, or, I agree with some of the shit he says. And now look, another thing to consider here is this is what you get when you push the extreme cancel culture and the extreme agenda, and it becomes so lopsided from one side, you start to push back. You go so heavy-handed in one direction, you're going to start to get the pushback from the other direction, and it's going to be as equal to or worse than, look, man, everybody's, the cancel culture is so strong. You can't even fucking hiccup the wrong way or they're going to be like, oh, you cancel him because he farted back in 1996 and I found the old video online. And people are literally getting canceled for shit that their parents said. It's ridiculous. We're in an era right now where this is getting too far out of control. People are getting too emboldened, too empowered to go out there and just be like, well, I think we should cancel this guy because I disagree with what he says and it hurts my feelings. Man. So eventually what you're going to do is you're going to stir up the people that are not going to be polite about the things they say when they push back. They're going to be, you know what I mean? This is a push, and this is an equal but opposite reaction, in my opinion, to a lot of the cancel culture and a lot of the pushing of agendas in the media. Look, we can all, regardless, again, going back to freedom, and again, to ride the fence a little bit and not be so divisive, but look, everybody has a right to say what they want to say. Everybody has a right to do what they want to do. If you want to go fuck another dude's butthole, go for it. I'm not opposed to that. Whatever you like, man, have at it. Have fun. Gay, trans, whatever the fuck. It's fine. I don't care. Live your life, bro. Freedom, personal freedoms. To live your life the way that you see fit as an adult. Nobody else should be able to tell you any different. But when it starts to leak into, now we want to try to push this on your kids, and now they're saying, 20% of all kids have some sort of either gay or trans or whatever. I don't know about all that. You're starting to push it, and every TV show's got to have, an equal member of race and color and sexuality and all that stuff, and representation's good. But when it gets to the point where, like, we can't have Snow White and the Seven Dwarves anymore because dwarves are, now we're gonna have seven, you know what I mean? Like they do shit to the point where it gets people, where people are like, okay, we've had enough, it's too much, and they start pushing back in the opposite direction, and you get people like Sean Strickland. You don't have a fair and equal balance anymore. Now you have extremists on both sides pushing back and forth. So no, Sean Strickland shouldn't be canceled. UFC shouldn't be canceled. ESPN shouldn't be trying to cancel UFC, and the stockholders and TKO shouldn't be getting involved. A guy should be able to just say whatever the fuck he wants to say and not be held accountable for it, other than the court of public opinion, where now we can all say, well, I don't want to buy that guy's pay-per-views anymore because I don't like what he stands for. Or, yeah, I want to buy that guy's pay-per-view. I like what he stands for. You know what I'm saying? We don't go out of our way to cancel people. This whole thing's got to stop, and this is why we're getting this. This is why it's so extreme. This is why we get the extreme example of a Sean Strickland. This is why Dave Chappelle, when he does a comedy special and he mentions trans people, and the whole world loses their mind and they freak out and they try to cancel him, and the trans community uprises over a joke. You're allowed to be mad. I'm not saying don't be mad or offended. I'm saying they're trying to cancel and end Dave Chappelle over a joke. What's he do? The very next special he does, the very first joke that he cracks, a trans joke. Why? Because you're pushing so hard, they're going to push back. And that's what we're getting in society right now. And it's frankly scary because this is the kind of stuff that leads to civil unrest. And that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. And we are now way off the track of our pro wrestling show, by the way. This is a pro wrestling show. But look, when you invoke the name of TKO, which also owns and runs WWE, and you're trying to hold them responsible for what their talents are saying out in media scrums and that sort of thing, it's a slippery slope. Could come over to the WWE at some point. But also it's interesting to see if UFC is so lax on their side, and Ari Emanuel, excuse me, I was trying to hold that to the end, but I got more to say, so we'll get it out of the way here. A lot of people thought when TKO was taking over WWE, when Ari Emanuel and Endeavor and all that, they're like, oh, are they going to step in and try to tell Triple H how to run, who to book, and how to do it? No. People don't understand. Do you watch UFC? Do you see what happens over there? Dana White has complete control of his entire company. He runs it with an iron fist. Everything that happens, nobody tells Dana White anything. Nobody comes up to Dana White and says, oh, you shouldn't say that, or you shouldn't do this, or your fighters, we gotta cancel your fighter. No, you just let shit fly. Wrestling has been traditionally more PC and does not try to ruffle feathers. It would be interesting to see if there were any wrestlers that did start to come out and be more, hopefully not like a Sean Strickland to that extent, but like, you know, if somebody just kind of came out and said, you know what, I'm just not going to bite my tongue anymore. I'm going to stop giving a fuck. I wonder how far that would fly on the WWE side of things, and how much more that could actually stir up and that sort of thing. But it's a unique situation, and it's worth keeping an eye on from the WWE side of things, from the TKO Holdings Group side of things, how this plays out and what they are or are not going to allow talent to do. Hopefully, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully, I have completed this video and successfully tiptoed and danced around all the landmines. Look, bro, like, at the end of the day, I'm a pro-freedom guy, and that's my stance on everything. So, at the end of the day, it's not so much endorsing what people say or the ideas that people say. It's simply sticking up for people's right to say things that they want to say, good or bad, and not have to be canceled for it. You can go on your show, like the Dan LeBatard Show, and talk about, say, how awful it is and really bury UFC and Dana White and Sean Strickland. You can give your equal and opposite reaction to those comments, but we need to be done with the cancel culture shit. I think we are. I think people are starting to push back. They're starting to fight back. People are less scared of it because they're having more options now. And it's just becoming a world where I think the harder that we push in one direction, that direction's going to push back just as hard. And it's going to create some pretty nasty shit out there in the world. So let's all just kind of step aside, chill the fuck out. Don't be so indignant. Don't be a social justice warrior. And don't be a dumbass. Don't say stupid shit. Everybody on every side. Let's just kind of chill out a little bit. But that's just my 2 cents. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Are you a pro Sean Strickland? Let me know down there. Are you like, yeah, everything he said's legit. I stand by it as well. I'm glad somebody's saying things like that. Or are you on the opposite side? Sean Strickland's an asshole. He says horrible things. He needs to be canceled. He needs to be silenced. We can't have people saying things like that out in public. Let me know your thoughts. I want to hear it from both sides down in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next. Don't cancel me for this video, by the way. Don't hate me. Oh, yeah. Thanks for checking out the video. Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Ooh, yeah. Dig it.